breaking Ryan Gosling, Reed Richards, Fantastic Four. Let's see what this is all about and see what everything wants to say about this and check this out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fighters. Now, I know it's almost become a meme at this point how many names we've heard tied to the Fantastic Four and over the last 2 years. And as I prophesized at the end of last year, we're probably going to hear more names in the next 6 months than we did in the last 2 years combined. Mostly because Marvel Studios is officially casting the team. And of course, there's no way they're going to be able to keep a wrap on this unofficially if they do end up casting those members before they make an official announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. The news is just too big, and it's going to get out. That's why we're paying a lot of attention to the rumors that are coming up recently from industry insiders, and we've got a brand new one, a huge name tied to the Fantastic Four team, and Ryan Gosling. We're going to talk about where this is coming from, which character he said he wanted to play, and then obviously which role in the Fantastic Four this ties into, and I don't think it's quite as obvious as everybody else thinks. We're going to break it all down, the latest rumor that Ryan Gosling may be joining the MCU's first family, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which we are right around the corner from. We'll be giving away another one to coincide with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on February 17th. Again, all you gotta do, be a sub, leave a comment, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so quick reminder, all Fantastic Four casting news and rumors, we're leaving in grain of salt territory here at the channel. I've said this several times this year already, until one of two things happens. Either Marvel Studios officially announces them, or we get a Deadline or Hollywood Reporter, one of those big Hollywood trades, confirming it. In the meantime, this latest rumor comes from Jeff Snyder, industry insider over on the Hot Mic podcast, who's heard that Ryan Gosling is now tied to the Fantastic Four for one of those roles. Now, it may sound familiar, Ryan Gosling joining the MCU, as going into summer of last year, it was heavily reported that not only was Marvel Studios looking at Gosling and wanted him to play a villain, but he may be signed on to play the role of Nova. He actually ended up doing an interview right after that with MTV, in which he indicated he knew nothing about Nova, insisted he was not tied to that role, and was not going to play Nova in the MCU. However, Josh Horowitz, his interviewer, then posted the next day on Twitter, quote, "But this morning, Ryan reached out to me to say there is one superhero he wants to play in Ghost Rider." Now, honestly, in retrospect, that might have been a calculated response. After the interview, he goes home, sees who the big characters left that aren't introduced into the MCU yet, and then reaches out the next morning, sort of in a subtle campaign. And it only took days and weeks for that subtle campaign to reach Kevin Feige's ears, who responded to it directly at San Diego Comic-Con when he was asked about it. Quote, "Hey man, if Ryan wants to play Ghost Rider, Gosling's unbelievable. Ryan is amazing. I'd love to find a place for him in the MCU. He's dressed up as Ken on Venice Beach and gets more press than giant movies coming out that weekend. It's amazing." Now, I think all of that is worth bringing up, not to confirm that obviously he went and talked to Marvel, but there is a good chance of interest was showed on both sides if one party reached out, that they have had talks since then, and considering Fantastic Four is basically the biggest thing happening, and before Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, Ryan Gosling being a member of that team would only make sense. And we've talked about this here at the channel, and it's not to poo-poo on Marvel or to say that this has anything to do with them, because I think there are still a lot of aspiring actors, regardless of sort of how some of the industry views Marvel movies, that still desperately want to be a part of it. But Hollywood is very, very small, and as far as big names like Ryan Gosling, who do tons of movies but are willing to dedicate that sort of time and chunk of their career to the MCU, knowing it's going to be a multiple film contract with several obligations. And as we've heard from other Marvel actors, they sort of don't tell you when it's coming up. They might just call you out of the blue and say, "Hey, we need you in 6 months." Basically, what I'm saying is Ryan Gosling has a lot more leverage than a lot of other actors may have, because he's a traditional movie star in the sense of the word, that he moves box office needles on his own. That's what Kevin Feige was talking about. And if Marvel Studios want those type actors, there's only so many of them to begin with, and there's only so many who would want to be in Marvel movies, and then there's only so many who would make their time available to be in Marvel movies. Again, this gives Ryan Gosling leverage. But what role would he play? Now, obviously, I think it's a natural conclusion to say, hey, if he wants to join the Fantastic Four and Marvel wants him there, then obviously he'd be playing Reed Richards. I personally, as someone who has a Marvel channel and is just a big fan, I really like Ryan Gosling, and I really like Reed Richards, but I do not see those two as the same. When I've read Reed Richards many times in the comics in several different iterations, different artists penning the character, different writers writing the voice, I have never read him and then think of Ryan Gosling and put those two together. Not to say he couldn't do the role, that's not what I'm saying at all, and if this is who they end up going with, I'll be all for it. It is a huge name to take up that role, but I don't think this rules him out from playing other huge characters in the MCU tied to the Fantastic Four. Two obvious names, the first of which would be Silver Surfer, but I don't think that you cast Gosling to be a CGI character in Silver Surfer. We've talked about this before. That's still the role I want for Keanu Reeves, and obviously it would be much easier for him to do a voiceover. The second role could be Victor Von Doom, but quite honestly, if you don't see him as Reed Richards, you definitely don't see him as Victor Von Doom. That's what I'm saying. So I think either of these roles are not likely. I do, however, see him as a Human Torch. I draw that connection pretty easily. I think that that would fit his personality and his role as well, but would Ryan Gosling want to be Human Torch knowing that Reed Richards is one of the bigger roles in the team? Yeah, I don't think so. And I think Ryan Gosling, quite honestly, if there's any truth to this rumor, is looking to join the MCU, wants a titular character, either a Ghost Rider in his own series or taking the lead up in a film or the lead for multiple films like a Reed Richards. I don't think that's too much of a stretch to draw that connection there. But again, guys, this is purely speculation based on this rumor, and I would not buy into any of these rumors until we hear them from one of the more trusted Hollywood trades. So like until a Deadline or a Hollywood Reporter drops a huge bombshell that this is happening, just add it to another long list of names: Glenn Howerton, John Krasinski, and the list goes on and on and on. Penn Badgley. And look, a lot of the names I think fans nominated or showed up in the rumor mill or concept art weren't bad actors for the role. A lot of them I could actually see as Reed Richards. Ryan Gosling's just one I can. And I think ultimately, guys, one confirmation that we can take away from all of this is that unfortunately, with John Krasinski saying himself that he has never talked to Marvel about a long-term role going forward as Reed Richards and hadn't talked to him since Multiverse of Madness, that he's the one actor we can sort of rule out, which is a shame, because when I saw him on screen during Multiverse of Madness, he acted and played the character exactly how I used to read him. As always, let me know your guys' reaction down below. Ryan Gosling for Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four, which role would you want to see him in, and do you want to see him in the MCU at all? I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5. The next one is right around the corner. We're inching closer every day. It'll be February 17th to coincide with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, and all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. Remember, guys, all videos have announcements at the end, and that's where we'll announce the winner in the same segment we're doing here. And I'll always do it with my live voice and the comment that won shown on screen. I also subscribe to the winners' accounts, etc., etc. I will never ask you to, in the comments, tell you won or ask you to contact you on a third-party app. No YouTuber does that. No YouTuber's ever asking you to pay for shipping. Those are scammers. They are all over YouTube, so please be vigilant. If you see those comments on my channel, other people's channels, even on Instagram, a fake account, just report them. You are doing us a lot of help because there's only so much we can do in combating them. I've tried messing with the comment filters and making them more strict so that they can't get on there, but unfortunately that just restricts you all on being able to comment, and I don't want to do that here at the channel. So again, if you see spammer comments, my channel, other people's channels, please just report them. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
You should like this. Have a great night. See you guys. Bye.